Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. This is Dr. Levi with your show, The Dr. Levi Show. Today, I was going to try to do this show without my headsets on today, but you know what? I think I might have to put them on just to regulate and modulate my voice. Today is October 18th, 2017. Beautiful day here in Los Angeles. Hope you're doing great wherever you are. I just want to remind you that, when it comes to having a great day, remember, you create a great day. I have to tell you, I started off with an incredible day today here at the radio station I'll tell you about later, but everything worked out for the best. Thank God for Tony Sweet, the owner here at UBN Radio. Big shout out to him. And, grateful to make this radio station, to make this show good for you. That's our goal, always to give you the Dr. Levi Show. That's a show that's worth listening to, being a part of, and more importantly, a show that's really about service. How can I educate you, inspire you, lift you up, make you feel better about your life and about your goals and aspirations, and more importantly, to give you tools. How do you reach those goals? How do you get there? If you want to, be a physician, if you want to be a broadcaster, if you want to be an actor, there's always a method to the madness. How do you get there? And I think it really is about having a plan, having a goal for your life, and also goals for our lives will change as we change. So what you want to do in your 20s may not be what you want to do in your 30s or your 40s. For me at 35 plus now, what I do now is very different. Who I am now, how I act now is different from when I was in my 20s and my teens, of course. So I want to remind you that as you make the transition, as you evolve in life, it's okay. I was just talking to Tony earlier. We were talking about how people in our lives come into our lives, as my mother would say, for a reason, a season, a lesson, or a blessing. And when those things change, then those people will lovingly and kindly move away. And other people come in to make our lives better, and hopefully people come into their lives to make them better. So life is really about, I think, amazing transitions about self-introspective revelations, and also about revelations about people around us. We have to be aware of who you are, of course, but then be aware of the people that are around you, who support you, or as my mother again would say, friends and people that are really meant to be in our lives, they do one thing. They show up. And I think that's so important. She would always say, your friends show up financially when they're able to. They show up physically when you need a hug or a kiss or a conversation. They show up psychologically when you need just to talk something out. They show up spiritually when you need them to pray with you or pray for you or pray about you. So I want to remind everyone that life is about evolution and about change, and don't be afraid to embrace change. Don't be afraid to make changes in your life, because guess what? The best is yet to be. This is just your halftime show. More is coming. So believe in yourself. Believe that you're worthy. Believe that what you want to do, what your dreams are valuable. Use your imagination to create the phenomenal life that you want to have. You so deserve it. You so deserve to have, a loving relationship. You so deserve to have financial prosperity and abundance and success. You so deserve to have a job that you love so much that if you never got paid for it, you still love going to work. I think that's important. Not going to a job with the thought of, I got to go there again. I got to work with those people again. Well, who are those people? Those people are you. People that you're working around that are not vibrationally attuned with you, then guess what? Either you have to go or they have to go, but it's like light and darkness. They can't stay in the same place. When the light is there, the darkness moves. So it's about really finding your center and about finding who you really are, not the person you project. That's not the real you. Who are you really? Who are you when you look in the mirror and see yourself and it's only you, bare, naked, looking back at yourself? Do you love that person? All of them. Every freckle, every wrinkle, every roll of fat, everything. Do you love everything about yourself? I think it's so important that we really take time to appreciate who we really are and appreciate the fact that, guess what? There's only one of you in the entire universe. So it's really about loving yourself and all of you. Not just the fit, beautiful parts, but the parts that are not so fit, that are not so beautiful. It's about making transitions to better the things that don't work for us, being better about giving more, about being more present for our family, for our friends, about listening more sometimes instead of speaking. Sometimes, I find with some of my really, really close friends that there are times when, and they'll tell me later if they want to come by to talk about something, that just sitting with them and just listening, saying very, very little, is therapeutic. And I think we have to remember that when we show up for people in our lives, just being with them sometimes is actually enough. Not to even say much, not to give any wisdom that you may have, not to show any judgment about what you think they should do and how the Bible says that for me, don't come to me with a Bible thumping story, come to me with life, because life is real. Life is about accepting and loving people without judgment. Life is real. Now, I'm not saying the Bible's not real, so I'm not saying that. So I said, don't come to me with a Bible thumping story. Don't preach to me. Come to me real, because I'm going to come at you real. I'm going to tell you exactly what I like, what I don't like, and I want you to tell me the same. And if it works for both of us, great. And if it doesn't, you go your way lovingly, I go my way lovingly. But all in love, all in light, all in truth. I think it's so important that we really look at our lives today as a foundation of truth. Are you true to yourself? Are you living a life of gratitude? Are you living in a place of knowing that, hey, for me, every day gets better and better? Are you staying in that place that I call me, miraculous expectation? That place where you know that no matter what's going on in your life, no matter how many bills you have, no matter how many challenges that you may have physically, psychologically, socially, familial, whatever it is, that you have the ability to overcome. You have the ability to, as I think it's Andra Day or Audra Day, I think the song is Rise Up. I love that song because that song really epitomizes, I believe, the human spirit of saying that, you know what, wherever you are, the most important thing is if you fall down, that you get up, that you rise up to the occasion. And guess what? The occasion is just making sure that you can paint the best narrative of who you are. You want to give the world the best possible you, not me, not anyone else. Just give the best impression, the best truthful you. And guess what? That's actually enough. If you're your best, what can you give after that? You can't give anything more. The best is your best. So, and I believe that all of us have within us the best possible versions of ourselves. And it's a matter of taking away the dogma, taking away the false beliefs, taking away the lack of truth, taking away the lack of appreciation of other people, taking away the judgment, and just simply being in that place of me, miraculous expectation, knowing that every day is a gift, and every day I'm here because the work is not yet done. The work is not yet complete. I'm here because there's more to do, there's more service to give, there's more love that I have to share, there's more love that I want to receive. It's all about giving and taking. Life is really about reciprocity. Yet you want to give, but you also want to be a loving receiver of goodness without thinking, oh, I'm not worthy or I shouldn't get this. No. You're worthy. The universe makes no mistakes. You're very worthy. So believe in yourself. Believe that your birth, your life is not in vain. That you're here for the glory of and goodness of who you are, for the world to accept, believe, and more importantly, for you to accept and believe who you really are. Again, the real you. Who is that? Something to think about. So, today is our Q&A, and we're going to talk about some of the questions I've received from Facebook, from Twitter, from Instagram, from YouTube. So, lots to talk about there. Also, I want to just give a quick medical moment about harassment. Right now in the news, there's major about harassment issues here in Los Angeles and Hollywood. And, of course, I want to remind people, the storyline now, the narrative that we see is about Hollywood, from sexual abuse to sexual harassment to even rape. All these things are horrific, of course. But I want to say this, and I want this to be really clear. That doesn't only happen in Hollywood. That happens in any job that you can think of on the face of this planet. There is this power differential where people in power think they can make or coerce other people to do what they want. It could be a physical favor. It could be a sexual favor, but they can make them do things because they're in power. So, rape is about power. Sexual harassment is about power. sexual advancement toward people that people are telling you no and people still go forward with it, it's really abusive. So I want to remind everyone, as you already know, you've heard this over and over on the news over the past 2 weeks, that the first thing I think is important that you have to keep in mind is that, number one, you are worthy of better than. So if someone treats you like you're less than, or someone treats you like you don't really matter, then it's up to you to let them know that it has to stop. It's up to you to let their boss or bosses know that it has to stop. And then remind yourself that, as my father would say, people only treat you the way you allow them to. So if someone is treating you like trash, remember, you're not trash. So you have to let them know that has to stop now, today, and forever. Now, I want to share this with you. When I first got to Los Angeles, and I love this city, and this city really loves me back. So, and I love being here. When I first got here, I worked as an engineer for a while, as an electrical engineer with the Department of Water and Power. And so when I left that job to pursue my medical career and to finish up some classes that I needed, a friend of mine, who was a really good friend and still is actually, said, Levi, I work on a set of this television show. He said, you can come down there, work 3 or 4 days a week, and you can just do some background work, and the pay is really not bad. So I talked to him about it, and I said, I don't think I have like the talent to do that, blah, blah, blah. He said, all you do is you sit there and they look at you. He said, just be yourself. So I went. So it was great. Now, on the show, after the show, one of the producers of the show came up to me later, and she said, I just saw that you're one of the new people here. I said, yes, I am. So we talked a little bit. And then she said, well, I want to put you up front more with Jasmine Guy and all these other people who are on the show. And I said, oh, fantastic. So I was always in a really good area. So I got a lot of camera time, which was great because I was just atmosphere, And then one day, another producer on the show told me about another series that we're also looking for atmosphere all the time. And she said, why don't you go over there? And I did. So when I got there the first day, I met a lady who was really, really nice, I thought. And I did the show. And then afterwards, she invited me to dinner. And so I went to dinner with her. I thought, great, And after dinner, she said, how much do you want to work? I said, I want to work a lot. I want to go to medical school, and I want to do this. And she said, I really think you could do a lot of acting. You could do this, blah, blah, blah. And she said, why don't we talk about this at my place? Come over there, and I'll let you read some lines, and we'll talk about it. So, me, very naive, I thought, great, she's interested in helping me build this career before I go to medical school. Fantastic. So I went. Now, when I got there, it was really, really funny. She opened the door, and she said, well, my husband's not home, so, we have like the whole night. We can just really talk about lives. I said, well, I have to go to class tomorrow. I said, so hopefully we'll be done by 9 o'clock. And this was about 6:30. So we start going through all these lines of what she wants me to read. And she says, well, we want to do a thing where you're in a gym. And I said, well, I don't have my gym clothes or anything. She says, well, why don't you just take off your shirt? And I said, okay. And I didn't think nothing about that. So I took off my shirt, and I kept thinking, well, why do I have to do that? Because it's, I'm just reading lines. It's not like a camera's rolling anything. So I took off my shirt, and I read the lines. Then she said, well, how do you feel about nudity? I said, I think nudity is great for people who want to do that. I said, I don't think anyone wants to see my naked body, though. She said, well, I think people would. She said, well, what about this? Can you read this scene, and can you take off your pants? And I said, well, no, I don't want to do that. She said, well, I can help you take them off. I said, no, I don't want you to do that. And I said, I think I should go. She said, no, you don't have to go because my husband, he's not going to be back until tomorrow. And when I think back about that process, so 2 things I want to clarify. 1, I never took off my pants, and 2, I left after that. And 3, I never got invited back to that show also, which is okay. But I say this to you because I know that it also happens to men. I think it happens to women more frequently by far. I think it's still deplorable for both. But I also think it's a matter of what are you willing to give up sometime for these people. I think they're really trying to see will you trade in your self-worth and your value for them to manipulate you for as long as they can. So I ask everyone to stand up against this. I ask everyone to say no to sexual harassment. I ask everyone to say that I am better than, and I will not let anyone treat me like I am less than, or someone can manipulate me sexually or physically or psychologically. Because with the person that tried that with me, it was really I'm sure it would have gone on to a more sexual issue there, but it was really about the psychology of her, taking this guy, in his mid-20s, who wants to go to medical school. She was just very, very manipulative. And I was thinking, okay, let me go with it. But then I knew where my boundary stopped. Now, I've thought about this. One of my good friends asked me about this recently, and she said, well, Levi, what would you have done if she wasn't married? Do you think that would have gone down the same way? And I told her I'm really clear that it would have. I would have still said no because, again, I'm real clear about power differentials, and that still wouldn't have worked for me. I believe I still would have felt manipulated and sort of not in control of who I am or my own destiny, really. So that didn't work for me. But I have maybe 5 or 8 stories like that in my life that were very sexual in nature, but I had to stop those. And I want to say to everyone that's happened to, I applaud everyone that has actually given voice to what has happened to them. I applaud everyone that's going to blogs. There's one blog called Me Too. There are other blogs I've seen out there too where people are talking about, what their experiences have been. So I think all those hashtags about abuse, I celebrate the people who have the courage to say that they will not let this happen to them again. And I think that's really important. So I just wanted to share that with you for what it's worth. A silly story, but one that it's interesting. I can still see this lady's face to this day of how PO'd she was when I started putting on my shirt and leaving, and her telling me, well, we'll see you later. And I think the last thing she said was something like, I hope you get a lot of work here. But I knew what that really meant. What that really meant was you may get a lot of work, but you won't be working with me, which was okay, So just wanted to share that with you for whatever value it has. Maybe it has none. So let's go over our questions today, our Q&A. I talked to a lot of gamers. I had like several gamers in the office last week. It was probably a busy week last week. It was a gaming kind of week with a lot of issues. 2 guys from Canada and 2 other guys from the U.S. So let's talk about some of the issues that I get, some of the questions that I get, I should say, from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So let's go over the first one. This is from Instagram, and it's Dr. Levi, can you stretch too much? And the other one is Dr. Levi, can you drink too much water? So stretching, like working out with weights, there are 2 words. You ready? Balance and moderation. That's it. So when it comes to stretching, yes, it's important to stretch every day. It's important to work out every day. However, like anything, it's all about moderation. I would also say, what you cannot stretch too much if you rotate your stretches. The key is not to do the same stretches every day. It's like the catalog of stretches and strengthening exercise I have for gamers, for their wrists, their hands, their forearms, and shoulders. Those exercises are extensive. There are over 100+ exercises. 100+ exercises for your hands, for your wrists, your elbows, shoulders. So the bottom line is this. Can you overstretch? No, not if you rotate the exercises. However, it's like going to the gym. If you go to the gym every day and do the exact same thing, you get on a treadmill, do the same thing. You take the same Zumba class, the same step class. Well, guess what? You're only using those same muscles. So then you plateau really quickly and the body doesn't change, and you have a higher propensity to injure those muscles because they're being overworked, overused. So it's so important that you do the following. And again, I don't want to sound preachy because I can't stand that. But I do want to say this. A recommendation is the following. Modify the stretches that you're doing. Rotate the stretches that you're doing. Change the stretches that you're doing every other day or every week, but do something different. The body, to have a fit, extraordinary body, it likes diversity. It likes what I call many years ago, there was something called interval training. And a great interval training, I always say, was like a precursor, like CrossFit almost. What I love about CrossFit is that the CrossFit body is a body that does regular exercise in general, but they're different exercises, but they're very intense. And it's high burst, high intensity, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, done. So I think it's better to rotate things, and also it's better to have smaller bursts of energy versus, going for a 5-mile run. Excuse me, not a 5-mile, like a 5-hour run or a 3-hour run. When I was training for the Beast Spartan race, which we did in Tahoe with my Phoenix Effect team in September 30th in Tahoe. So it was a 17.5-mile run with 38 agility obstacles, but less than a little quarter-mile swim. It was cold. Very cold. So I want to say this, that training for something like that is real specific and intense. But in general, stretching is not an intense atmosphere. Stretching is about really taking time to have some mindfulness, relax, feel your body, what feels good, what feels sort of painful, but to know your body. That's what's important. Know how you really feel. And then to do exercises, stretches that will help you to feel better and to feel like you've worked out, but now you're coming down. The great thing about exercise, I always say, is it's about, I call it de-zoning. And de-zoning is after exercise really, really hard, maybe an hour, maybe 45 minutes, really intensely. Then I'll have 15 to 20 minutes of stretching where I come out of the zone. I call it de-zoning, where I bring myself down to this peaceful place. So I don't know if that's a word. It's a word that I use for myself, de-zoning, but it works for me. So I hope that helps you. Now, can you drink too much water? Absolutely. You can actually drink so much water that you can inappropriately have an electrolyte imbalance where your sodium and your potassium can go off, and it can actually cause cardiac problems. You can actually die from drinking too much water. So yes, if you were like to sit and say, I'm going to drink, 5 gallons of water nonstop, I'm going to drink, well, that would not be good for your body at all. So yes, you can drink too much water. The goal is, as you often hear, is to drink at least 6 to 8 glasses of water per day. Now, there's some studies that say even more. I say this: listen to your body. When you feel like, hey, you know what, I'm urinating every hour, I'm tired of getting up, this is not working, well, cut back, drink less. But also be sure of what you're drinking. I wouldn't say drink, high caloric, sugar-filled, caffeine-filled drinks, 5 or 7 of those a day. It's like coffee. I wouldn't recommend more than 1 or 2 cups of that per day, maximum. So it's really about, with water, listening to your body. If you're very, very active, for example, if you're a runner, if you're very active, you're a marathoner, well, yeah, your body needs more water because you sweat that out. However, if you're, let's say, a ping pong player, well, maybe not so much. If you're a tennis player, maybe more. The key is listen to your body. And then also, no matter what someone tells you about how much water you should drink, you know you. You take you wherever you go. You're with you all the time. So listen to your body, listen to yourself, and what works, works, and what doesn't, doesn't, All right, so that's that. Those are Instagram questions. Let's go to Facebook. So Facebook, hey, Dr. Levi, I've been following you and doing your exercises for some time now. I'm 65 years old and a piano and organ player from age 12. I have a keyboard, and I wish I played really well, but I don't. But I love it anyway. The joints in my fingers on both hands and thumbs are really painful, difficult to bend, can't shake hands anymore, can't open bottles, or the exercises I can do. Osteoporosis and osteoarthritis are my symptoms. I enjoy all your postings and videos on your social media. Do you have a team, or do you post? When we comment, do you see it? I recently discovered, so 2 things. I do post, and I have some friends and a team that I work with that also post for me and with me. So, but I do post a lot. Yes, I do see some of the comments also. Next question from same person is, I recently discovered a video by you on YouTube which appears to have been made a few years ago. My question was, when doing exercise to strengthen hands, wrists, and forearms, are those intended to be performed on different days than when you might want to do other upper body exercises using weights? I'm not sure if you recall the video, but you recommended 7 exercises be performed 3 times per week. Thanks for taking the time to view my message and advice that is offered is greatly appreciated. Okay, so I want to thank you for the comment, and I'm glad to hear that the exercises are helping you. That's good to hear. That whenever I hear a good comment, I'm always reminded that thank God someone's actually being helped by this. I'm always thinking, am I living a life of service where people are really benefiting? That's it's always in the back of my head. So I'm glad to hear that. So let's talk about it. Yes, I do know the video that you're talking about. And that video is not simply for gamers. That video is for anyone who has hands. If you have hands, you can do those exercises. Now, with that said, yes, I recommend that you can do them 3 times a week, or you can do them every day for a week and then change and look online and do a different set of exercises every day for a week. The goal is this: rotate the exercises. The 2 words for any workout program or stretching program, the following. I said them earlier: balance and moderation. You have to have that. And if you do, you'll be fine. All right? So I hope that helps you. But I also want to say this: when you asked about you can't shake hands anymore, can't open bowel exercise I can do. So yes, you can do this exercise where you take a like a towel and just squeeze the towel. Like when you rotate the towel, you want to squeeze the water out the towel and try to bring your hands close together and then back, closer together and back. And what you want to do here is really this exercise also, just your thumb in and out. You really want to increase the strength of the interosseous muscles between in the web space here between your thumb and your index finger. The thing about the thumb is the following. The thumb is 42% of all functional motion of the hand, which is really intriguing if you think about it, because this one digit is 42% of everything that we do with our hands. So, with that said, if you can strengthen that muscle just so you can grip better, you'll be able to hold more things. You'll have greater strength in your hands. The other thing that I recommend, of course, is you can do this just here. Piano exercises, reverse piano, reverse piano, and then just in and out, just like this. Then fingers open, close, open, close, open, close. Then make it more difficult, small finger only. Then both small finger and ring finger if you can. Then thumb, index finger and thumb. All your fingers. Now, that might seem like a really easy exercise. It's not, because it's really about control and controlling your fingers really well. And more importantly, it's about doing these exercises consistently. A lot of exercises you might say, okay, I want to do the ones that I like. It's like going to the gym. Many times you see people in the gym who love doing upper body work, but then they'll have legs that look like pencil sticks, or like we call them chicken legs, because people don't like working legs because they're so painful sometimes. Well, you have to work through the pain. It's the same with these exercises. Don't simply gravitate to the exercise that you like. Do all of the exercise, because if you have a compendium of different exercises that you do, your whole catalog of exercise will be better, and that will help you tremendously. Okay? Now, I have a few more questions. In about a minute or so, we're going to take like a 1-minute break here, and we're going to come back. So hold on one second. So it's another question. This is from YouTube. I'm pretty curious about other foods that may be considered normal but can cause anxiety. I know caffeine, etc., works, but what about fatty foods or high sugar content? Can those types of foods affect mood? Absolutely. Now, fatty foods, I'll give you more information about later, but I want to talk about sugar. Sugar definitely can cause mood swings, because sugar is the issue here. It's a big up and a big down. Think about it. Your glucose levels are going to go really, really high because you're inundated your body with all this sugar, and then of course your body has to clear it out. The other thing too I want to say is, when it comes to sugar, a lot of us in medicine consider sugar sort of like a poison for the system, that it really is not good at all for your cells, that it the especially things like fructose and simple sugars that are really manufactured, that a lot of these we think are just not good for the body in general. Not good on a cellular level, just not good for your body to heal, because we feel many of them are we call pro-inflammatory, that they cause inflammation in your body globally. And then inflammation, of course, we think that leads to chronic disease processes like rheumatoid arthritis, for example, or even osteoarthritis. Basically, we think these inflammatory chains can basically cause cellular degeneration and breakdown, which can lead to chronic disease systems. So when it comes to mood, absolutely, people can go from being very happy to very sad, very depressed, and then of course they'll have more sugar. Sugar is really an addiction. We talk about smoking and crack and marijuana and methamphetamine and heroin and OxyContin and all these other pills, and go on and on and on. Because addiction, we know, especially here in America, I'll tell you one of the stats is that about 142 people die, we think, per day from prescription drug abuse and addiction. Now, that's a lot if you think about it. So if people can be addicted to those drugs, guess what? People can also be addicted to sugar. And I think it's a very commonly undiagnosed issue in America, sugar addiction. We talk about alcohol, of course, but also sugar is a major thing. So yes, it can cause mood swings, and yes, I think you should minimize sugar in your life, and yes, we should exercise every day, and yes, be aware of your body. And as I say often on this show, I've said thousands of times, but I'll say it one more time today. I'm sure I'll end up saying it another time, is that we are what we eat, drink, and smoke. How could you not be that? Think about it. Whatever you put in your body, that's what the cells have to generate or degenerate. So you want to put things in your body that will be generational, that will generate the good things of your body, that will help to decrease the amount of free radicals in your body, so that your body can stay hopefully free of any type of cancerous changes or any other type of pro-inflammatory changes. All right. So I hope that helps. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick minute break here, and we'll be back. So thank you for listening to the Dr. Levi Show. This is your show. So we'll be right back. Give me 60 seconds. Hey, everybody, it's Dr. Levi. Welcome back. We took a 1 minute break. I've gotten a few questions about trying to take a break during the show, so we'll do this sometime. We'll take like a 1 minute, maybe minute and a half break, so someone can maybe walk away or whatever they need to do and come back to the show. So happy to have you with us, of course. Today is October the 18th, 2017. Beautiful here in LA. California right now, I'm dealing with a lot of wildfires, and it's really amazing that this state, which has all these what I call microclimates everywhere, where it can be hot in one area, snow in another area, you can go skiing in one place, go swimming somewhere else. It's just bonkers sometimes. But I still love the state, of course. So I really want to thank all the first responders out there and the firemen and all the people that are really helping to keep people's lives and property safe from these dangerous fires. And again, I also want to give a big shout out to the extraordinary people that are really coming to the aid of the Americans that are really stricken with a lot of horribleness right now in Puerto Rico. I think it's just I can't even fathom that it's been more than 3+ weeks, and so many people there still don't have electricity. They have no clean water. They don't have access to proper care. I don't know what FEMA's doing, but they're gonna have to do more. I can tell you that. Um, I could go on that for a while, but it's just very sad and heartbreaking. So I'm still taking donations at my office to send clothes there and supplies. So if you have things, bring them to my office and we'll get them to the proper charity so they can get to Puerto Rico. All right. But please pray for the folks in Puerto Rico. Still, also the people in Santa Ana and California whose entire town in Calistoga just wiped out by wildfire. Literally wiped out. I've never seen wildfires go through a city with such devastation so quickly. So, to those first responders, again, thank you. And to the people there, you're in our thoughts and prayers. And I think, again, we really have to really be grateful for firemen and firewomen, for people who are on the front lines, risking their lives to help other people. I think it's amazing. Like I talk about veterans, and I think people who serve in the military are just extraordinary. I also think firemen, police officers, people who are civil service, those are really jobs where people are not very grateful for these people. And I thank you. I thank you for your service. I'm just grateful. I want to say that. I'm grateful. And I just hope everyone pulls through, but especially in Puerto Rico. Still, people, I have friends who are still recovering in Florida and in Houston, from what happened there. This has been a very interesting year with all these, what I call apocalyptic type storms. Just extraordinary. Okay, let's get back to your questions. Okay, this is from YouTube again. I only have pain when I use my mouse, and it's severe during the usage. I can't use my mouse less because of school. It occurs within 5 minutes of being at my computer. I have no idea what the problem is. Okay, so I want to say this. One thing I really appreciate your question. What I would have liked, if you could have, is to tell me where is your pain from using a mouse. So it's not clear, do you have pain in your wrist or in your hand or in your forearm? So let me just give you a few tips that I think will help you broadly anyway. So number one, if your mouse is bothering you, change the sensitivity of the mouse to see if you have the sensitivity up higher or lower, will that help you? So I'd say maybe for 2 or 3 days, have it very high. For another 3 days, have it mid and then maybe low to see which of those will be the best for you. Because often what I find is pain from mouse use is usually in the wrist and in the thumb. So the other thing that you can do is consider using a mouse, the following. Consider trying a vertical mouse. I'm not a fan of them yet. We can try that, see if that helps you. Or you can try a larger mouse, because sometimes what I found, especially some of the gamers that I take care of, if they use a very small mouse, the smaller the mouse, they will grip the mouse even tighter. And that can really cause a lot of tendonitis, a lot of wrist, finger, and hand pain, a lot of what we call palmar or volar pain here. So I recommend getting maybe a larger mouse, changing the sensitivity, and also making sure that when you're using your mouse, that your forearm, that your desk is properly balanced, that your arms at the chair is high enough, that your elbows are at 90 degrees when you're using a mouse, and that you're not leaning down, not crouching down, not having your wrist hyperflexed or hyperextended, that your wrist is in a neutral position when you're using a mouse. So I hope that helps you, all right? And then let me know. I want to hear about you guys. I want to know that these comments are actually beneficial for you. All right, next question. Dr. Levi, I have severe muscle exhaustion in my forearm that does not go away for more than 2 years now. I've taken NSAIDs, anti-inflammatories, for a long time. It didn't help. Then I tried massaging it and exercise. It helped reducing the pain, but it's still there. Can you please give me an advice regarding this? Okay, I can. So a few things here. You have exhaustion in your forearm. So I'd recommend the following. Number one, you can, and forearm, we're talking here to here now, you can consider getting a brace. It's called a lateral epicondyle brace or a tennis elbow brace, which will put some pressure here, compression here, to mitigate and to minimize any tearing of the ECRB, extensor carpi radialis brevis, and extensor carpi radialis longus tendons from where they're inserted on the lateral epicondyle. So that may help if that pain that you have is localized in the lateral aspect of your forearm. Now, if the pain that you have is more central, and this is the volar aspect of the forearm, then I'd recommend the following. Try these exercises where your arm is straight out like this, keep the elbow extended and straight, and then bring your palm and your fingers back and hold. And I tell you, this is even when I don't have forearm pain, this is still a very intense exercise to do because you will feel this in this area. And you just simply hold this. Hold this for 30 seconds. And then flip your hands back this way and do the same thing and hold for 30 seconds. These are a type of inertial exercises. Inertial, again, is N-I-R-S-C-H-L, inertial exercises. That may help you. The next thing I would say is consider going to an acupuncturist. I love acupuncture. Acupuncture is just a great way of healing the body in general. So I would say the following. So number 1, do the stretches. Number 2, consider getting the elbow brace. Number 3, acupuncture. Number 4, physical therapy. And then the inertial, N-I-R-S-C-H-L, the inertial exercise. And then the elbow pad is called an elbow compression pad that you can use right on the lateral aspect of your elbow. That may also help. Now, the other thing about forearm exhaustion, often really due to repetitive motion injury, meaning that whatever you're doing every day, you're doing too much of it. So let's say you're gaming, let's say 14 hours a day. Maybe cut back to 10 to 8 for a week or two. Let your body rest and heal. Now, with that said, as I say here on the show all the time, because I can't see you and examine you personally, it's so important that everyone who's listening to the show, remember with the Q&A shows, I always recommend above all, go to be seen and evaluated by your regular doctor. You have to do that. They need to see you. They need to lay hands on you, to examine you, to see what the problem is. Because I get part of the picture here. I get part of the picture here, but I don't get the full picture, all right? I want the full picture of you, so I recommend that you do that, all right? Now, next question. I like the way I said that. Next question. So the next question is, would you talk more about the value of meditating? Do you think it would help you win? So let me tell you, of all the things that I do in my life, I would say, meditation is critical. Okay, so meditation, if you really think about it, is just truly a form of mindfulness. Now, the issue is this. There's so many forms of meditation. I always tell people this when they ask me, should I meditate? And they say, I don't know how. I remind them, yes, you do. Be still. You know how. So when people tell me, I have to go take a class on how to meditate. I say, okay, good luck. Do that if you need to do it. But guess what? If you just take time to sit still, be quiet, and guess what? Turn off your cell phone. You can turn off your cell phone, put it in a different room, and just sit 15 minutes a day, maybe twice a day. And you can just clear your mind, sit peacefully, or you can think of a word, like my favorite word, of course, is gratitude, my favorite word on the planet. So for myself, I'll think of gratitude, or I'll think of peace, or I'll think of nothing, and I'll just sit and do this. I'll listen to my breath. There's so much power in the breath that simply just taking a in through your nose, out through your mouth. Just a breath. Just 2 breaths right there, I feel more relaxed like that. So imagine doing that for 15 minutes. Now, it's not hyperventilating. No, not that. Just sitting peacefully with yourself and with your own thoughts. Meditation is critical. And for winning, for all the programs I do for any team that I'm working with, or even for the individual gaming community athletes, or for regular other athletes who are not gamers, for example, gymnasts or tennis players or baseball players that I work with, I always remind them that meditation has to be a part of their daily lifestyles. It's not meditating as a I want to say like this accessory. You do it when you want to do it. No, I think meditation is as important as breathing, as eating properly, as exercise. Meditation has to be a part of your daily life. All right. So yes, I think it can help you win. If you add visualization with that, that'll be even better. All right. Next question is: my mom has carpal tunnel syndrome in both hands. Right hand is affected more than the left. So doctor confirms today that she is going to face carpal tunnel surgery this week. So I'm confused about the surgery. Please clear my doubts, doctor. Is it worth to do or not? So yes. So carpal tunnel surgery is a very easy surgery. In general, it usually takes like 5 to 8 minutes. I did 4 of those last night. Actually, it's really, really quick. Now I want to tell you this. I recommend the following: always get a second opinion before anyone cuts on you. Secondly, make sure that you've exhausted all non-invasive, non-surgical things first, like physical therapy, occupational therapy, medication, and injection, a brace, ergonomic evaluation, acupuncture. All of these things, if none of those help you, you've had an EMG nerve conduction study that also says there's a problem, then you're pushed into that upper echelon of needing surgery. Now, I will say this. The surgery is done really well, often, and it's not a difficult surgery. However, I still recommend always get a second opinion. All right. I hope that helps you, and good luck to your mom if she has a surgery or not. I wish you were in LA because I would evaluate her and give you my thoughts about that. All right. Next question is: I work in a dining hall and had a pot wash duty for 7 days. And not when I sleep, wake up several times from hand numbness. I think it's carpal tunnel syndrome. Please help, sir. I'm in Afghanistan at a small military FOB, and I don't have any access to a doctor. I was to self-remedy this so I won't have to take a helicopter out and miss out on work. Thanks for posting this video. It was much needed. I had a question about my wrist curl. Okay, so let's talk about this. So about the carpal tunnel. So consider doing these gliding exercises like this. I'll do it from the side, back and forth. Then slightly close your fist. Same thing, around, back around. Then up and down flappers. I recommend you doing those at least twice a day for about 5 to 10 minutes. Repetition of 15 to 20 for each of those exercises. I hope that helps you. I would try the physical therapy also. Try wearing the brace and anti-inflammatory medication. So I got to a lot of the questions today, guys. I didn't get to 4 of them. I'll do them at the next show, so I apologize. We just had a lot to talk about today. So I hope this helped you today. I want to thank you for joining me on my social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch TV. Thanks. Our Twitch TV community is just growing and growing and growing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is Dr. Levi. This weekend I have the Adelante Youth Conference, which will be great. We also have the Action Icon Awards, which will be fantastic. So I want to thank you all for joining me and being a part of the Dr. Levi community. Have a great, great day. And remember, every day is a gift. Give the world the best you possible. Have a great day. Bye.